Chapter 48. Hear you this, O house of Jacob, who are called by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the fountain of Judah, who swear by the name of the Lord, and make mention of the God of Israel, but not in truth, nor in righteousness. For they call themselves of the holy city, and stay themselves upon the God of Israel. The Lord of hosts is his name. I have declared the former things of old. Yes, they went forth out of my mouth, and I announced them. Suddenly I did them, and they came to pass. Because I knew that you were obstinate, and your neck as an iron sinew, and your brow brass. Therefore I have declared it to you from of old. Before it came to pass, I announced it to you, lest you should say, Mine idol hath done them, and my graven image and my molten image hath commanded them. You have heard, see all this, and will you not declare it? I have announced unto you things from this time, even hidden things which you have not known. They are created now, and not from old. And before this day you heard them not, lest you should say, Behold, I knew them. Yes, you heard not. Yes, you knew not. Yes, from old your ear was not opened, for I knew you would deal very treacherously, and was called a transgressor from your womb. For my name's sake will I defer my anger, and for my praise will I refrain for you, that I cut you not off. Behold, I have refined you, but not as silver. I have tried you in the furnace of affliction, for my own sake. For my own sake will I do it. For how should it be profaned? And my glory will I not give to another. Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel, my called. I am he. I am the first. I also am the last. Yes, my hand has laid the foundation of the earth. My right hand spread out the heavens. When I call unto them, they stand up together. Assemble yourselves, all of you, and hear. Which among them hath declared these things? He whom the Lord loves shall perform his pleasure on Babylon, and show his arm on the Chaldeans. I, even I, have spoken. Yes, I have called him. I brought him, and he shall make his way prosperous. Come you near unto me, hear you this. From the beginning I have not spoken in secret. From the time that it was, there am I. And now the Lord has sent me, and his Spirit. Thus saith the Lord your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, I am the Lord your God, who teacheth you for the prophet, who leadeth you by the way that you should go. Oh, that you would hearken unto my commandments. Then would your peace be as a river, and your righteousness as the waves of the sea. Your seed also would be as the sand, and the offspring of your body like the grains thereof. His name would not be cut off nor destroyed from before me. Go you forth from Babylon, flee you from the Chaldeans, with a voice of singing, declare you, tell this, utter it even to the end of the earth. Say you, the Lord hath redeemed his servant Jacob. And they thirsted not when he led them through the deserts. He caused the waters to flow out of the rock for them. He cleaved the rock also, and the waters gushed out. There is no peace, saith the Lord, concerning the wicked. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. Now, yesterday we was dealing with the virgin daughter of Babylon, and God had turned the curse, so to speak, around. Adonai, he had reversed the curse. He had turned it around and put it on Babylon now, this great confusion, even the confusion of the end time that we see. So, God goes forth as a cloud by day, a great confusion of the law, and all this into the light where we can see, and then a fire at night, even the darkness is consumed by this great fire that God has built, even this furnace that there is in the earth, even today. But we're going to pick back up in chapter 48, and we're basically allowed to overhear a conversation between God and Israel. God's been speaking to Israel, telling him now he's God. There is no other God. Israel's been scattered out in all the earth. They've been punished by God for their sins, for their turning from the Lord, their God. God said he was going to do this. And God did do this. God said and told him now the sign of the end and how the redemption would come. And we're going to find out that it's happening just like the Word of God has said it would happen. We're going to pick it up with in verse 1. Hear you this, O house of Jacob, who are called by my name, by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the fountain of Judah, who swear by the name of the Lord, and make mention of the God of Israel, but not in truth, nor in righteousness. And once again, this word righteousness, tzedakah, I like to transfer it as justice, and this is correctness, to be just, to be right in the earth. And because that's the insinuation this of truth and right, to be correct in the earth, to be obedient to the law, of course, as we will find out. And the error of this is what's got us all in this condition today. But this house of Jacob, and Jacob's always going to be Israel. His name was changed to Israel. We use Jacob to make sure you understand Jacob is the supplanter. He is the one who tried to take charge of something that didn't belong to him. He contended with the mighty one. And this was a punishment that he was given. And God chose him though now because see, God knew he was hard-headed. God knew this, and God wanted to make a great example, even a great example in the earth, so that all could understand. Verse 2, for they call themselves of the holy city, and stay themselves upon the God of Israel. The Lord of hosts is his name. The Lord of hosts is his name. And the host, that's the armies of heaven, see. And he is the Lord of them. He is the commander. He is God. These ones that we're speaking to are these ones that the leftover, the remnant, see, when they come in, Assyria had conquered Israel, the 10 nations thereof, and scattered them out, driven them out, taken them into captivity. And he had turned his hand now against Judah, and also had beaten down the most of Judah. But Judah was left down and basically to a small area, and Jerusalem was kind of the head of all that. And this is what we're talking about, this holy city, Jerusalem, and because God's beat him down to a remnant, and that's what he said he was going to do. See, and he's making an example of them, just like he does today. 3, I have declared the former things from old. Yes, they went forth out of my mouth, and I announced them. Suddenly I did them, and they came to pass. See, God has declared these things. God declared all things. He made examples as he went, declaring these things, causing them to come to pass, showing himself, saying, hey, I'm God. See, I can say this. I can do this. I can work. I can do things. None wanted to listen. Nobody wanted to listen to God. God showing himself magnificent, and they just kept going astray from God. But see, God did this with his mouth. There's only one God. There's only God. There is no other. There's nothing else. There's no image. We should have no image before us. We should be very obedient to the law of God, because there is a God, and he's been watching you. 4, because I knew that you are obstinate, and your neck as an iron sinew, and your brow brass. Obstinate. If we change this into a word we could better understand today, we would just say you're hard-headed. You're a numbskull. See, you're thick-skulled. And this is basically what it means. God knew that you were cruel. God knew that you were hard-headed. God knew that your neck was like an iron muscle. See, iron muscle. Just didn't want to move, didn't want to turn, didn't want to be obedient. And your brow brass. This brow more like your forehead. Your forehead brass, like a cold darkness. Nothing can get through it. See, God done knew all this. God knows the heart of men. God knows who men are. God knows you. See, and from the beginning he was here, and before you entered the womb he knew you. He placed you there. 5. Therefore I have declared it to you from old. Before it came to pass I announced it to you, lest you should say, Mine idol hath done them, and my graven image and my molten image hath commanded them. So, of long ago, see, God, this is how God did things. He said, I declared them to you and announced it to you. That way you would know. You couldn't say, hey, my idol did this. Why? Well, God announced it before you even made your idol. See, God had done declared things before you ever even made your idol. That way you couldn't say, hey, my idol did these things as well. 6. You have heard, see all this, and will you not declare it? I have announced unto you new things from this time, even hidden things which you have not known. Which you have not known. You've heard all this, and you see it all. Will you not declare it? Will you not declare God? Will you not declare the work of God? I've declared unto you things that are new. From this time, even hidden things which you didn't know. You didn't know this. Why? Because your eyes have been daubed over. Your ears have been stopped up. God did this. Now God begins to open the eye and open the ear. They begin to understand. You didn't know this before. 7, they are created now, and it's not from old. And before this day you heard them not, lest you should say, Behold, I knew them. See, in your arrogancy, I knew this. No, you did not. God created it now, not from old, declaring it. And it went forth without your understanding. 8. Yes, you heard not. You knew not. Yes, from old your ear was not opened. For I knew that you would deal very treacherously, and was called a transgressor from the womb. God done knew who you were. He done knew who you were, see. He put you there to make this example. He's God. He's God. You didn't know these things. God says you didn't know them. Are you going to stand there and say you did? From old your ear was not open. God shut up your ear. God knew these things. 9. For my name's sake will I defer my anger, and for my praise will I refrain for you, that I cut you not off. You've made the Lord mad. And for his sake only, for God's sake, for the name of God only, he's deferring his anger. Deferring his anger. Pushing on to another. For his own praise, he will refrain for Israel, that he cut them not utterly off and destroy them utterly. 10. Behold, I have refined you, but not as silver. I have tried you in the furnace of affliction. God has tried you in the law, caused you to pass through it. You say, oh, how can we afflict ourselves by the law? There's no affliction in the law that you keep it for your own good. God didn't cause you to pass through the fire like he has the silver. They bowed down to idolatry. 11. For my own sake. For mine own sake will I do it. For how should it be profaned? And my glory will I not give to another? I will not give to another is how it should read. God's not going to give his glory to another. How should his holy name be profaned? For God, for his own sake now, for his own name's sake, he's going to do this. It's done. 12. Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel, my called. I am he. I am the first. I also am the last. He is God, there is no other. Listen unto him, O Jacob, Israel. You he's called even from the womb. Listen unto the Lord your God. 13. Yes, my hand laid the foundation of the earth. My right hand spread out the heavens. When I call unto them, they stand up together. When God has done this, God has done all of it. God prepared it. From the beginning, He made it so. He spread it out the heavens. He did this. He made the host for all the nations to worship. God did it. And when He speaks, they all stand up together. For the Lord calls them by name. 14. Assemble yourselves, all of you, and hear. Which among them hath declared these things? He whom the Lord loves shall perform His pleasure on Babylon, and show His arm on the Chaldeans. Assemble yourselves, get together, all of you, and listen. Which among them hath declared these things? Who hath declared these things? He whom the Lord loves shall perform His pleasure on Babylon, on this confusion of the earth. He whom the Lord loves, He has sent Him, and show His arm on the Chaldeans, these ones who think they know everything. These ones, oh, they're so smart and they have all the understanding. That's why they're the clod breakers. 15. Even I have spoken. Yes, I have called him. I brought him, and he shall make his way prosperous. God has done this. God said it. God called him. 16. Come you near unto me. Hear you this. From the beginning I have not spoken in secret. From the time that it was, there am I. And now the Lord has sent me, and His Spirit, truth, judgment. Listen, come you near. God sent him from the beginning. God called him out. From the beginning, bringing him forth a witness so that we could see. God in the end, we're getting ready to find out. 17, thus saith the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. I am the Lord your God, who teacheth you for your profit, who leadeth you by the way that you shouldest go. Your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. He is God, and He teaches you for your profit. He brings you by the way you should go. See, by the way you should go. And we know what way that is. It's through the law of God. The only way you can go. There is no other way. Well, they tried to make another way. Remember the Tower of Babel? See, they tried to build them up another way. A man's understanding and God's understanding are two different things. 18. Oh, that you would hearken to my commandments. Then would your peace be as a river, and your righteousness as the waves of the sea. That you would hearken unto my commandments. See, oh, that you would. Yeah, if you would have listened, see, it'd been better off. But wait, God wants to add a few to the flock here before we're done. Peace would have been as a river. See, peace could have been as a river. This river of tranquility is what the river is being referred to here. This great peaceful place. And your justice as the waves of the sea, without end, never ceasing, one side to the next, ever continuing. 19, your seed also would be as the sand, and your offspring as of your body like the grains thereof. His name would not be cut off nor destroyed from before me. Things wouldn't be like this if you would have listened to the commandments. What if you would have made a covenant, did something else? Well, no, that's why things are like this. See? You didn't listen to the commandments. You didn't listen to the law of God. But if you would have, oh, it'd been a beautiful, wonderful place. See, if they would, if the nations could see this example, if the nations could understand these things, we have to make ourselves obedient to the law of God. We have to go forth with great understanding, like mighty men. There are no men. Where have the men gone? Well, God said what He said He's going to do. From the top down. From the top down. And so from the bottom up, we have to establish it. 20. Go you forth from Babylon. Flee you from the Chaldeans. With a voice of singing, declare you, tell this. Utter it to the end of the earth. Say you, the Lord has redeemed His servant Jacob. Get out of Babylon. Get out of confusion. Flee you from these ones of all understanding, these clod breakers. Go out singing. Tell it. See, God has redeemed you. God has redeemed His servant Jacob. God has redeemed Israel. Through this great and marvelous work He's done, this great example, God's shown Himself. God's shown Himself. Why? For His servant Jacob. That's why. 21. And they thirsted not when He led them through the deserts. He caused the waters to flow out of the rock for them. He cleaved the rock also, and the waters gushed out. We haven't read this yet, but we will. We're going back there, see. We're going to make that little journey again. But this time we're going to come all the way through the wilderness. They thirsted not when He led them through the deserts, this wilderness, when they come up out of Egypt. Oh, but they cried out to God. They cried out, oh, we're thirsty, we're thirsty. And what did He do for you? He cleaved the rock. He split it. And the waters gushed out. The Lord your God did this. And they thirsted not. 22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, concerning the wicked. See, there is no peace, though. Why? Well, the wicked's still in charge, and the wicked does wickedly. It's example. It's an example, see, it's an automatic thing. When you disobey the law of God, when you disobey the law of God, the foundation stone thereof. Remember, law number 1, Aleph. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. I am the Lord your God, and you shall not have another. All right, let's continue to chapter 49.